Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 501 based on novel. So let's start. Outside planet Suzaku, a vortex appeared next to the void gate. As the vortex rotated, a shocking aura spread out. The moment Heaven Master Void God turned around, the green-robed young man trembled as he felt something and looked over. Jin did the same. Even the tens of thousands of cultivators that were about to charge into planet Suzaku all felt this terrifying aura. They were familiar with this aura. The green-robed young man was familiar with this aura. Heaven Master Void God was familiar with this aura. Jin was even more familiar with this aura, and it made him almost lose his wits. Similarly, the aura coming from vortex next to the void gate made the thousands of inner realm cultivators around the statue feel a sense of familiarity that had been buried for decades. I said he can't die. He can't die. He is my brother, he can't die. Sichunan trembled, joy filled his eyes, and he began to laugh. Master South Cloud gasped. He was guessing before who had the fortune to trigger the void gate with 6 essences. Now that he felt this aura, he also began to laugh. Good. How could the Lord of the Sealed Realm die? 13. Master Lu Fu, and the weakened Azure Dragon Divine Emperor all trembled as they looked at the vortex next to the void gate with excitement in his eyes. In particular, 13 was extremely excited. Master Longpan smiled as he looked at the vortex next to the void gate. He seemed to see the figure that angrily roared at him back then. Lord of the Sealed Realm! Lord of the Sealed Realm! The thousands of cultivators around the statue became excited and roared, "Glory to the Lord of the Sealed Realm! Glory to the brilliant void!" Some of them weren't familiar with this aura, but when they saw the reaction of Sichunan and company, a name popped into their heads. A name they could never forget. Lord of the Sealed Realm, Wang Lin. The roars of the thousands of cultivators around the statue became even more powerful. Eventually, the voices fused into one and spread into space, into the ears of the tens of thousands of Outer Realm cultivators. The moment the nightmare that had been forgotten by the Outer Realm cultivators awakened, a cold, white-haired young man in white stepped out of the vortex next to the void gate. His white hair danced and his clothes fluttered. At this moment, he gave off a feeling that he had just returned from the netherworld, just walked out of death's grasp. He was Wang Lin, he was the Lord of the Sealed Realm. I have returned. Wang Lin walked out of the vortex and his cold eyes gave off a cold intent. He looked at the tens of thousands of Outer Realm cultivators. Everyone that met his gaze trembled and subconsciously retreated in terror. In particular, Jin was sweating like crazy and rapidly retreated. The green-robed young man's eyes were filled with disbelief. In his mind, Wang Lin should have died already, but now only was he alive, he had returned and triggered the void gate with 6 essences. This caused his calmness to collapse. Lord of the Sealed Realm! The Lord of the Sealed Realm has returned! Glory to the Lord of the Sealed Realm! Glory to the Lord of the Sealed Realm! The thousands of cultivators on planet Suzaku seemed to become filled with infinite power. They rushed out with an unprecedented aura and shook the stars. Just as Wang Lin appeared and the inner realm cultivators became excited, Heaven Master Void God's expression became extremely gloomy. Killing intent appeared in his eyes and he stepped toward Wang Lin under the void gate. Little child, you didn't die back then, but you will die today. This old man wants to see how a little junior that hasn't reached the 3rd step will survive against me. Back then, this old man didn't succeed in taking your body, but since you came here yourself, this old man will take it. What happened back then was a big disgrace to Heaven Master Void Gate, but it also scared him greatly. He was afraid of the arrow. However, as one of the 5 masters, he couldn't just escape without battling. As he spoke, he sped up and instantly closed in on Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was indifferent. As Heaven Master Void God closed in, he closed his eyes and then suddenly opened them. When he opened his eyes, the aura of a grand scholar spread out from him. It was the aura of someone that had comprehended the heavens and was not afraid of ghosts or gods. Even the heavens would have to retreat from this aura, and even Ghost had to be afraid. Even the laws of the world distorted before it. This was something that belonged to humans, belonged to the Grand Scholar of humans. Cultivators were also human. Even if they reached the third step, they were still human. Back off. Wang Lin's glance landed on Heaven Master Void God. No matter how powerful the enemy was, in Wang Lin's eyes, Heaven Master Void God was the same as a mortal, no different from the ants, rocks, trees, or grass. Heaven Master Void God's avatar suddenly stopped and his eyes filled with disbelief. He clearly felt an aura from Wang Lin that made Wang Lin feel like the world itself. The aura that Wang Lin gave off terrified him. This aura rushed into his soul and made him feel the shock he felt when he looked up at the sky when he was a mere mortal. This aura rushed into his soul with no regard to his cultivation level or identity. These words were like the law of the world, or even above the law of the world. It was the decree of an emperor. No different than a mortal being hit by a bolt of lightning. Heaven Master Void God was terrified. He didn't dare to believe his eyes and didn't believe his own trembling body. At this moment, he was no different from that Foundation establishment cultivator from Wang Lin's dream. You, Heaven Master Void God subconsciously retreated several dozen feet. His eyes revealed horror that was rarely seen. What Wang Lin said could shake the heavens and shock ghosts and gods. This scene caused Zhu Jin's face to turn deathly pale. His eyes were filled with despair. There was also the green-robed young man. He originally wanted to step forward to kill Wang Lin, but he froze and his Dao heart became unstable. The feeling Wang Lin gave him was like the time he met the Grand Scholar when he was still a kid, before he started cultivating. If the three of them were like this, there was no need to talk about the tens of thousands of Outer Realm cultivators. They retreated once more from Wang Lin's words, and they all looked at Wang Lin with endless fear in their eyes. Wang Lin waved his sleeves. After shocking Heaven Master Void God to retreat with a roar, he lifted his right hand to face the Void Gate. Thunder, fire, karma, life and death, true and false, slaughter. 6 essences with my name, Wang Lin, I order you all to break open the Void Gate. Wang Lin's words spread out and the Void Gate gave off endless pressure. Break the Void Gate. Wang Lin raised his head and looked at the Void Gate above him. He had waited for this day for more than 2,000 years. He had waited too long for this day. When he began cultivating, he never thought he would become a third-step cultivator, but this day had arrived. This was the second time Wang Lin had faced the Void Gate. The first time was when his Thunder Essence reached completion, but he wasn't able to open it at the time. However, today Wang Lin was confident that he could open the gate and reach the third step. The 6 essences appeared on his raised hand and formed a ball of spinning light. He crushed it and they entered his body. He rushed upward. Before the gazes of the tens of thousands of Outer Realm cultivators, thousands of Inner Realm cultivators, and several third-step cultivators, Wang Lin charged at the Void Gate. Once he broke open the gate, he would be a third-step cultivator. Once he broke open the gate, he could do as he wished. Once he broke open the gate, he would be qualified to know the final secret between the Inner and Outer Realms. When he was young, he lacked talent and had a hard time cultivating. He had made it past the first step and the second step. Today, he would break open the Void Gate before the eyes of tens of thousands of cultivators and reach the third step. Wang Lin clearly remembered the attack Qing Shui had used with the Slaughter Essence against the Void Gate. The attack that caused a corner of the Void Gate to collapse. Having the power to break a corner of the gate was extremely rare. For people like Zhu Jin, breaking the Void Gate was just doing their best to push it open. It was like a mortal trying to push a 1,000-pound rock. Even with the help of Joss Flames, one would feel like they had been through a tough fight after pushing open the gate. Since ancient times, very few people could do it as easily as Qing Shui. The more essences used to create the Void Gate, the more difficult it would to open, much less break it. 6 essences had never appeared before, so the Void Gate they formed was the strongest that had ever been seen in the Inner and Outer Realms. The difficulty of breaking this Void Gate was several times higher than when Qing Shui broke his. Compared to Zhu Jin's Void Gate, the difference was simply too much. But similarly, once Wang Lin breaks open the gate, he could accept the power of the Void Gate and it would integrate with his 6 essences. His power would improve by leaps and bounds. Breaking this gate is not difficult. I have seen this gate many times and have some understanding of it. This time I'll break it in an unprecedented way that no one has ever done before and no one ever will. Wang Lin looked up and his white hair started to dance. His right hand formed a fist as he got closer and closer to the Void Gate. With my name, Wang Lin, I order the thunder of the heavens. Wang Lin's body flew toward the gate and his right hand formed a fist. Thunder rumbled and endless lightning gathered in his fist as if he was catching it all. He punched the Void Gate before him. He can't open it, he definitely can't open it. This gate was formed by so many essences, no one can open it. Zhu Jin had almost gone crazy. He retreated with despair in his eyes. He could only hope that Wang Lin couldn't open the Void Gate so he would have a chance at survival. With 6 essences, the Void Gate is several times more difficult than when I opened the door, and this Wang Lin. It will be very difficult for him to open it. The more essences, the more difficult it is to open the gate. He will fail to open the gate, and when he fails, he will die. The green-robed young man also retreated. He understood that when you tried to stop someone who was trying to break the Void Gate, you'd actually be helping them. Heaven Master Void God's expression was gloomy as he retreated. He stared at Wang Lin, who was about to break open the Void Gate, and sneered. If the Void Gate is so easy to open, then the world would be in chaos. A Void Gate triggered by 6 essences is difficult beyond imagination to open. A mere junior, even if you were lucky enough to get 6 essences, what is the use? I want to see how he will try to open this Void Gate. Perhaps I don't even have to do anything and he will die to the Void Gate. They didn't believe Wang Lin could break open the Void Gate, or they just didn't want to believe. However, to the Inner Realm cultivators, they hoped from the bottom of their hearts that Wang Lin could break open the Void Gate and become a 3rd step cultivator. Wang Lin, you must break open the Void Gate. Situ Nan clenched his fist and looked nervous. He had broken his own Void Gate, and even with Qing Lin's help, he had suffered. He knew how difficult it was, and Wang Lin's Void Gate was much more powerful than his. This caused him to become even more worried. Master South Cloud's eyes lit up and he took a deep breath. He had already made the decision to use his full power to help Wang Lin at the critical moment. It's a gate formed by 6 essences, we have to help him break it at all costs. Once he opens it, Wang Lin's cultivation will become an extremely powerful force for our inner realm. Master Lu Fu, Master Long Pan, Azura Dragon Divine Emperor, and others all looked at each other. They all looked tense. In particular, the Azure Dragon Divine Emperor was even more worried. He knew Wang Lin from a long time ago and also knew that Wang Lin was a member of the 4 Divine Sect. At this moment, his right hand reached at the void and the 4 treasures of the 4 Divine Sect appeared. At the most critical moment, I'll use the 4 Divine Sect's treasures to help him break the gate. Ignoring everyone else's thoughts, Wang Lin was covered in thunder and rushing at the Void Gate. Compared to the Void Gate, Wang Lin was extremely small. But it was that small figure that made all the surrounding cultivators forget to think as they stared at his shocking thunder punch. Wang Lin had used this punch on the Void Gate before, but he only pushed it open a silver. However, now he had completed 6 essences, and although they hadn't fused, just his thunder was several times more powerful than before. The punch landed and a thunderous rumble rang out. Wang Lin's figure was like the first eternal thunderbolt in the world, and it smashed into the Void Gate. The thunderous rumbles echoed in all directions. The violent shockwave caused many of the surrounding cultivators to cough out blood and fly back. They were terrified and wanted to leave. As the thunderous rumbles echoed, the giant Void Gate trembled as if it couldn't bear it and slowly opened a sliver. The moment the Void Gate was opened a sliver, Wang Lin let out a roar. As the roar echoed across the brilliant void, thunder and lightning appeared all over the brilliant void. It was as if something had called them, and they rushed toward planet Suzaku. The entire brilliant void trembled unceasingly. Thunder and lightning seemed to be extracted from each planet and shot toward planet Suzaku. Even more strands of lightning moved through space. There were many outer realm cultivators in the brilliant void. They were often in groups of hundreds or thousands to hunt down the remaining inner realm cultivators. All the outer realm cultivators were shaken by the rumbling thunder. They didn't know what was happening, but they could feel that the entire brilliant void was filled with thunder. It was as if all the thunder in the world had found their king after countless years of confusion. Now the Thunder King had let out a roar and was calling to them. All the thunder in the brilliant void connected and seemed to form an ocean as the thunder waves surged. They passed by planets, swept through space, and swept past the outer realm cultivators. What is going on? What the hell is going on? How did so much thunder surge? Could some thunder treasure have appeared? All of this thunder is going toward one direction. What is going on there? Isn't planet Suzaku in that direction? Could some shocking change have occurred there? An uproar echoed among the many groups of outer realm cultivators in the brilliant void. They were confused, they didn't know what was going on. However, the brilliant void was filled with endless thunder. Some landed on people who didn't dodge fast enough and they died with a miserable scream. This caused the expressions of the outer realm cultivators to change greatly. Divine senses spread out one by one, trying to find the reason. If one looked from above, they would see endless thunder gathering like crazy toward planet Suzaku, toward Wang Lin, who was next to the void gate. Despair overflowed in Ju Jin's eyes, he could hardly believe what he was seeing. He heard muffled roars from all directions. When he looked over, he was stunned. He saw far too much thunder that had already lit up space itself. It shined brightly as it closed in. The green-robed young man's face became pale. Although he was a mid-stage arcane void cultivator, his scalp still went numb when he saw the endless thunder. Not only him, even Heaven Master Void God was startled for a moment and disbelief filled his eyes. He didn't expect Wang Lin's thunder essence to have such power. This is no ordinary thunder essence. This old man has seen third-step thunder cultivators, but none like this. This Wang Lin, how did he form his thunder essence to have such power? Heaven Master Void God's eyes lit up. HMPH, even if it's all the thunder in the brilliant void, just as Heaven Master Void God thought this, an even more violent rumble that overpowered the endless thunder from the brilliant void rang out. His divine sense spread out, and what he saw caused him to stagger back a few steps. Heaven Master Void God exclaimed, "Impossible. Only one thing could make Heaven Master Void God, one of the 5 masters of the ancient star system, lose himself like this." When his divine sense spread out, he saw the endless thunder closing in. Heaven Master Void God didn't care about Wang Lin triggering the thunder of the brilliant void. However, he didn't expect Wang Lin's roar to trigger the Cloud Sea as well. In the Cloud Sea, the situation was the same as the brilliant void. Bolts of thunder left the continents as if they were heading an ancient call, charging toward the brilliant void. There was also rumbling coming the thin clouds left in the Cloud Sea. Countless bolts of lightning rushed out and connected together. They broke through the barrier to the brilliant void and rushed closer. But this wasn't the end. After Wang Lin's roar echoed across the brilliant void and the Cloud Sea, it also spread into the summoned river. Lightning lit up the darkness of space. Countless outer realm cultivators saw endless meteors or silver snake-like lightning bolts quickly flashing through the sky. A thunderous rumble echoed across the summoned river. Large amounts of cultivators rushed out from the cultivation planets and stared at the wave-like lightning flashing through space. They were completely stunned. What happened? As the thunder and lightning from the Cloud Sea, brilliant void, and summoned river moved, the last to be affected was all heaven. All heaven had not been captured and still belonged to the inner realm. At this moment, the inner realm cultivators were all staring the thunder surging toward brilliant void from all directions. As Wang Lin's roar to summon thunder echoed across all heaven, the barrier to the star systems broke. The ancient thunder that acted as the gate to the thunder celestial realm that had not moved for countless years flew off like a silver river. It shot straight for the brilliant void. The brilliant void, all heaven, the Cloud Sea, the summoned river, the thunder from all 4 major star systems rushed toward planet Suzaku. toward the white-haired Wang Lin, who had his hand raised in the air. If the realm sealing formation was in a perfect state, it would be very difficult for anything to pass through, but now a hole had been opened by the outer realm, so Wang Lin's roar passed through with a special method. It went out from the hole in the cloud sea and spread across the ancient star system. At this moment, thunder rumbled across the vast ancient star system. Endless thunder and lightning appeared from the void and rushed toward the hole in the cloud sea. Among the outer realm cultivators, those that cultivated thunder trembled. The origin energy inside them left their bodies without their control and turned into bolts of thunder that flew off. Thunder soon rushed across the ancient star system and into the hole in the cloud sea. It stormed through the inner realm and fused together as it went toward planet Suzaku. All of this happened in an instant. Outside planet Suzaku, beside the void gate, Wang Lin's roar ended. All the thunder from the inner and outer realms had arrived. The voice that almost collapsed space itself caused the outer realm cultivators to tremble and bleed from their orifices. They all used various spells in an attempt to resist it. Their vision was blurry, the dazzling light from the thunder seemed to be able to penetrate the eyes of all living beings. Wang Lin pointed at the void gate as the thunder closed in. This method of opening the void gate had never been seen before. He was using all the thunder in the inner and outer realms to smash the void gate. He was using an extremely arrogant and domineering method to break the void gate. Before Wang Lin, no one could do it. After Wang Lin, it was also destined that no one would be able to do it. Rumble, 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 rumble. The endless rumbles continued as strands of thunder and lightning rushed at the void gate. The endless thunder was like an army that wanted to collapse the void gate. As the thunderous rumbles echoed, countless cracks appeared on the void gate, and even more thunder arrived. As the violent rumbles continued, the edge of the void gate turned to ashes and began to collapse. At the same time, even more thunder bombarded the void gate. It caused the void gate to erupt with a light even brighter than the sun. "Break for me!" Wang Lin roared. As the rumbles echoed, the right side of the void gate collapsed into countless fragments. Then the left side of the void gate also collapsed to the bombardment of the thunder. Eventually, the entire void gate shattered completely and the fragments scattered in all directions. The void gate collapsed. When it collapsed, a giant vortex appeared and the power of the void gate flowed out like a river toward Wang Lin. However, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he waved his sleeves. A powerful force pushed the power from the void gate back into the vortex. Although Wang Lin hadn't absorbed the power from the void gate, his cultivation level increased greatly. He stepped past the peak of Nirvana Shatterer and Heaven's Blight and directly reached the third step. He reached the early stage of Nirvana Void. However, this wasn't Wang Lin's real cultivation level, but an aura. The aura of a true third-step cultivator. If Wang Lin wanted to, as long as he absorbed the power from the void gate, his cultivation level would match his aura. He would immediately become an early-stage Nirvana Void cultivator. However, by doing this, he would only reach the early stage of Nirvana Void with the Thunder Essence. Wang Lin didn't want this early-stage Nirvana Void cultivation. He had endured so long to complete 6 essences. If he only reached early-stage Nirvana Void, he would not be satisfied. He wanted to amaze the world with a single, brilliant feat. This scene shocked all the surrounding cultivators. Zhu Jin's face was ashen. He felt despair and wanted to leave, but he found that this area was surrounded by a pressure that prevented him from retreating even half a step. He raised his head and saw the source of the pressure. It was Wang Lin, who threw a sideways glance at him. This gaze caused Zhu Jin to cough out a mouthful of blood. The green-robed young man's face was pale. He vaguely thought of something was different. He suddenly thought of something he couldn't believe and even terrified him. Could it be that he? One more gate. Wang Lin's cold and proud voice entered the ears of the green-robed young man, causing his eyes to narrow. Although they were enemies, he still revealed a look of respect. Wang Lin waved his sleeve and the vortex formed by the collapsed void gate expanded rapidly. A pressure several times more powerful than before appeared. As the vortex spread out, crackling sounds echoed and space itself fragmented. The vortex dissipated and was replaced with another void gate. This gate was a bit smaller than before, but the pressure it emitted was even stronger. The Lord of the Sealed Realm is arrogant to the extreme. Heaven Master Void God's eyes were filled with a complicated gate. This was the first time he had referred to Wang Lin as the Lord of the Sealed Realm in his heart and not the Junior. Throughout the ages, everyone who broke the Void Gate absorbed the power of the Void Gate to solidify their own essence so they could reach the third step. This process is very short, and once that power is absorbed, the Void Gate will dissipate. Almost everyone quickly absorbs it without delay because even though the Void Gate is broken, it will quickly reform. Once the Void Gate reforms, the power of the previous Void Gate disappears. Even if you have already opened it, it will have to be opened again. But the second Void Gate is even stronger. However, this person could kill third-step cultivators even before absorbing the power from the Void Gate and reaching the third step. Although the Void Gate is tough, it really can't stop him. Heaven Master Void Gate felt helpless, but he still admitted his mistake in judgment. He doesn't want to just break open the Void Gate, he wants to do something that's nearly impossible. He is going to break open the Void Gate once with each essence. He wants to become a third-step cultivator with 6 essences the real way. The difficulty of this is simply too great, but the benefits are also great. Heaven Master Void God looked at Wang Lin with a complicated gaze, but the killing intent in his eyes became even stronger. Since he is so arrogant to do something like this before me, then I want to see how he manages. The Void Gate that appeared for the second time shocked not only the Outer Realm cultivators but also the Inner Realm cultivators. The moment the Void Gate appeared, a monstrous, cold light appeared in Wang Lin's eyes and a sense of confidence filled his body. He was Wang Lin, he was the Lord of the Sealed Real, he was someone with 6 essences. Since ancient times, no one was more qualified than he was to dare to break open the Void Gate continuously. Wang Lin didn't deliberately do this, but he had seen the Void Gate several times. He vaguely knew that every time he broke the Void Gate, more power from within would flow out. If he wanted to fuse his 6 essences, he would need an unimaginable amount of power from the Void Gate. Wang Lin didn't know what this power was, but he knew that the power from the Void Gate was the key for cultivators to reach the third step. It was comparable to setting up a foundation while refining. Therefore, he had to do this. When the Void Gate appeared for the second time, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he raised his right hand. He calmly said something that sounded like the law of the heavens, and space itself trembled. Fire essence, with my name. Wang Lin. Burn the Void Gate. The moment he spoke, 9-colored fire surged and filled the area. At this moment, in the brilliant void, cloud, sea, all heaven, summoned river, and even in the outer realm, endless fire rushed toward Wang Lin's finger like thunder before. It all shot toward the Void Gate. It was impossible to describe the spectacle of this scene. This was something many cultivators would never see in their lives. The endless sea of fire rushed at the Void Gate as it closed in. Thunderous rumbles echoed as raging fire completely surrounded the Void Gate. As the heat wave spread, the Void Gate collapsed once again. This collapse had no fragments falling, as all the fragments were burnt to ashes by the fire. The moment the Void Gate collapsed the second time, a surge of Void Gate power 10 times stronger than before rushed toward Wang Lin. However, this was still not enough to make his 6 essences fuse. Therefore, he waved his sleeve, pushing the power back into an even bigger vortex than before. Void Gate, come again. Wang Lin laughed as he pointed at the vortex. At this moment, after the fire essence broke the second Void Gate, the aura around Wang Lin increased again. Today was the day Wang Lin would step toward the peak. He had endured all these years, he had anticipated for so long, just for this moment to become a third-step cultivator. The aura from his body had already reached the early stage of Nirvana Void when he broke the first gate. Now that he broke the second gate, his aura had increased directly to mid-stage Nirvana Void. This video will end here.